you're ready. Okay. Go ahead.
What is your name?
My name is Jeff Nippard.
And what do you do for a living?
So I'm a natural bodybuilder and powerlifter from Canada. However much I'm obsessed with bodybuilding and powerlifting now, that's exactly how I was with basketball when I was a teenager. Going to the NBA was everything that I wanted to do. I would remember, as a Toronto Raptors fan watching on the TV, Vince Carter. Same thing with Kobe. Nate Robinson. But I would say my favorite was for sure Allen Iverson.
Five to shoot for Iverson. Yes! His sixth of the game as he continues to add to his Sixer playoff record for three-pointers in a game.
He was just so flashy and explosive, and he was one of the shortest, smallest players in the NBA at the time, and yet he's still considered one of the best of all time, which is pretty amazing. I remember when I was such a fan that I noticed he had a tattoo on his shoulder that said, "Only the strong survive." And as a teenager, that really resonated with me because I saw him as a player that really did have to overcome some limitations to be as successful as he was. That would serve as inspiration for me. If I wasn't going to be the tallest guy on the court, if I was going to be the shortest guy on the court, then I had to make sure I could jump higher than anybody else. So I got absolutely obsessed with improving my vertical jump. I would do thousands of skips a day, run every jump program that I could find, and just became totally obsessed with jump training. At a certain point also, you just have to be realistic about your limitations and your strengths. And so when I started seeing progress really, really quickly in the gym, that was when I kind of said, okay, my hand was dealt better for bodybuilding than it was for basketball. And then when I discovered that there was such thing as a science-based approach to bodybuilding and strength training, I got just as obsessed with that as anything else. And at the time, all the best science-based coaches and athletes were doing powerlifting in their off-season from bodybuilding. So for me, it just made sense to blend that approach where, yes, you're training to build muscle, but you're also training to get strong. I don't want to just look like I have muscle. I want to be able to put that muscle to use. I want to actually be strong. I started to think of it like I would let my strength be the goal and let my physique be the outcome. There is something nerve-wracking, but also very exciting about putting a weight on your back that you've never held before, squatting down to the ground, and standing back up with it. Or you see a weight on the ground, you go over and see if you can pick it up. It's an amazing feeling when you actually lock that weight out. That was like, that had become my new basketball, I guess you could say, like maybe even more so. Like I was just obsessed with that competitive spirit and with this thing that I actually excelled at. At this time, I said, I'm gonna really go all in with the powerlifting style training and see what I can do, you know, on the international level. At this time when I was competing in powerlifting, I was actually in school but until 5, 6 p.m. I would usually end up training super late at night. I would take the bus sometime around 11 p.m. or midnight to the closest 24-hour gym, which was like a 30-minute bus ride from my place, and usually train there for like a couple hours, finish up at 2 a.m., and then take the bus back, and then class would start again at 8 a.m. So there wasn't a lot of time for sleep. At this time, I competed in Canadian Nationals for powerlifting, won the silver medal there. It was the powerlifting event that qualified me for the Arnold in powerlifting. Other than Worlds, probably the biggest international competition. So like people will come from all over the world to compete there. I knew that if I wanted to compete on such a high level, I needed to bring up my deadlift. At the time, I was thinking, well, I'll do whatever I need to do to get my deadlift up. I started deadlifting 5 days a week, and that was when everything came crashing down. It's kind of weird how this happens, like just doing my regular warm-up, and then all of a sudden, I felt my back just tighten up, like it became rock hard. And so I just hit the ground, couldn't get back up. I had to get carried out of the gym on a stretcher. That ended up really, I guess, holding me back for quite a while. It ended up being a pretty serious injury. So it just so happened that at this time, I hurt my back. I started really gaining popularity online, and there was a solid subset of people who were consuming my content who would point out that, oh, hey, your squat isn't that great, or your deadlift is not that strong, or whatever. And I think this also led to people giving me, or some people giving me sort of a reputation that I'm a science guy who reads a lot of studies, but doesn't actually train all that hard himself.
Different research studies will say, I read this here, and I read this here. Jeff overall doesn't train that hard. I've watched many of his workouts, and it's not hard, like half-ass training.
So around that period of time, Rise reached out to me about the signature line. And so we started brainstorming ideas about colors and different designs and stuff like that. I really wanted to go with a minimal look with kind of neutral tones, and then I really like the pop of red. For whatever reason, red just signifies kind of a more gritty, strong look to it. So I think that that's captured in the clothes. The thing that probably came to mind first was these shorts I'm wearing. I like shorts that have a short, outer short style and then compression underneath them. And I think that these are super cool. I've never actually seen a design where you have the black on the outside and then the white compression underneath. I think they look super, super cool. I also wanted to do a warm-up t-shirt that you can kind of like wear over a tank top, or maybe if it's like a cold day and, you know, during your warm-up sets. For the tank tops, I wanted something that kind of like fit really well around like the chest, but like didn't look like so tight that it was like kind of corny. And then I have some like of the camo designs built in. I also wanted to make stuff that is a little more streetwear-ish, that you could just wear wherever. And I think the scoop necks make you look really jacked. That's basically why I went with those. I think that they just are really complimentary for the physique. Everything was looking really cool, but we needed to decide on a slogan for the line. And so I ended up thinking of the Allen Iverson tattoo, "Only the Strong Survive." It perfectly captures how it is you overcome any kind of setback or challenge and, you know, push through to the next level. Seeing that slogan on the signature line when I was a teenager, that would have motivated me to want to be the best basketball player that I can be. Now, thinking about that tattoo and that saying again made me, I guess, question, like, am I actually living up to my potential? Am I training as hard and diligently as I should be? It was at that point that I kind of flipped the switch again, and I said, okay, no matter how long this takes, if it takes me 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, like, I want to be able to be strong. Once I realized that I was letting this fear of re-injury hold me back, I just completely committed to letting that go. It feels like it's kind of come full circle for me. Honestly, my back feels better than ever. I've let go of that fear, and I see myself, you know, as a strong, competent lifter again. Hurting my back in the gym, getting carried out of the gym on a stretcher, having to drop out of the Arnold, you know, all these years later, having built my strength back up over time, just adding, you know, plate after plate to the bar, kind of reminds me of that Allen Iverson tattoo that I loved as a kid, saying, "Only the strong survive."